Like Looking in a Mirror is a show about the complex parent-child bond. Jenna paints her teenage son, capturing a moment where he resembles her more than he ever will again. As he moves from childhood to adulthood, their connection is both profound and fragile, his image suspended in that space between innocence and the complexities of identity yet to come. Here, he becomes both muse and mirror, and we witness a mother reckoning with herself as she sees her reflection in the flesh and bone of her child. The artist explores how inherited traits, mirrored emotions, and shared behaviors are passed from parent to child, showing how similarities go beyond just appearance. The exhibition title encapsulates this concept of self-reflection, not only in the literal sense of seeing one's likeness in another, but also in the psychological complexity of identity passed down through generations. To look at another and see yourself is a profoundly intimate and sometimes disquieting experience. The work is not just an observation on family resemblance in the physical sense. It's about the ways in which we project our own experiences onto the next generation, shaping their identities in the process. In an interview with W Magazine, Jenna speaks of the act of painting her son as a revelation, a confrontation with herself. Explaining how the process of creating these paintings made her think about what she wants to pass down to her son and what she hopes won't be repeated. She further explained that by seeing traits she once disliked in herself, now present in her son, she has developed more empathy for her younger self, seeing her own reflection through a softened, more forgiving lens. The exhibition press release tells us that while a child as a copy of their parent might evoke the loss of individuality, it also becomes a comforting and connective experience. This show is a tender reminder that we are all a part of the endless cycle of giving ourselves to the next generation. Shariah's work begins in the shadow of ancient sculptures, but rather than faithfully replicating the classical, they transform these stone relics into colorful paintings, brushing away the dust of antiquity. Through a palette of bright, almost improbable colors, the artist seems to mock the limitations of the ancient world, conjuring tones that never existed in marble. The works present figures that are simultaneously familiar and estranged. The press release speaks of thick, controlled strokes, of gesso layered so densely it obscures, hinting at hidden images beneath. Much of their imagery comes from Greco-Roman busts and sculptures found in the collections of prestigious museums. The artist questions how museums and historical institutions preserve and share knowledge, asking us to ponder the role of such institutions. The title of the exhibition, At the Feet of the Master, explores the idea of mastery in art, not just mastery of ancient forms, but also personal mastery as an artist, balancing creativity, self-promotion, and institutional influence. This body of work reminds us that art is not a fixed achievement, but an evolving practice. The exploration of classical sculpture is not just about paying homage to the past, but about forging new connections with it. Aliza's exhibition is a celebration of community and female strength, offering us a peek into the rich cultural traditions of local dance communities in Southern California, where the rhythms of Latino migration blend with the pulse of American life. The artist explores how different dance traditions influence and enrich each other. Her paintings are windows into lives marked by resilience and the melding of cultural identities. This painting shows women practicing a traditional dance where they balance lit candles on their heads, reflecting their grace and skill and floating movements as they perform. The artist says they are invoking various moments of Mexican folklore. The title of the show translates to haughty, gorgeous, and proud, and it comes from a famous Mexican ballad. This song describes a woman who is strong, independent, and sure of herself, qualities that the artist emphasizes in her paintings. Here, Aliza presents a group of mariachi performers, but offers a mix of men and women, a subtle but deliberate shift in a musical tradition often dominated by masculinity. The artist brings the women to the forefront, giving them the stage, their presence commanding, unapologetic. She reveals to us the dancers' moments as they prepare, before the storm of performance, their concentration as they ready their bodies and minds. These glimpses behind the scenes remind us that the art of dance is not just about what happens on stage, but the dedication and discipline that fills every breath leading up to it. One of the most interesting aspects of the artist's process is how she forms deep connections with her subjects. Instead of simply observing them from a distance, she spends time getting to know the dancers, understanding their lives, and building relationships with them. Aliza is not content to simply watch them dance. She listens, she learns, she becomes part of their world. Fred's sculptures act like optical instruments that play with light, reflections, and color, creating a magical way to experience space and energy. The shapes focus your eyes upward, reflecting and refracting light, appearing in different ways depending on where you stand. The light passing through them creates interesting effects, reflecting Fred's background in engineering and the scientific inspiration behind his work. Thank you for joining me. I'll see you again.